Well, I'll tell you what, it is 8:07. So if he's not going to make it, that's not a problem. Couple things. Do you see on your screen right now big red rectangle that says Rankin, and underneath it says AWD1100 C# programming end of semester course evaluation?
I do.
Okay. I sent one to all four of you. You know, I literally have, I don't think she'd mind me saying this, but what happened with Maya is we sent texts back and forth, and she said, I know I've missed tons of assignments. Can I still pass the course? And I said, I really don't know. So she said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start back from the beginning, and I'm going to try to teach this stuff kind of to myself, and I'll watch your videos. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And with Dominic, I contacted him about 3 times finally, because he said he couldn't get on. So I set up a Zoom meeting just for him. And I was able to get, he was able to see me. I could see him, and he said, well, this is good. I'll see you tomorrow. That was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and that's the last communication I had with him. The only reason I'm mentioning this to you is they're more than welcome, if they see this video, to fill these out. But I really wish that you and Keegan would. You both have A's. You both should get an A in the class. The only way that you probably couldn't get an A would be if you turned in absolutely nothing for the electronic portfolio. And even then, I don't know, you may even then have enough points to get an A. The only reason I'm telling you that is just be honest. This has been a bizarre last half of the semester. This has been something that no one, probably you, have never experienced anything like this. When I taught at the school I used to be at, what they did was they made me tape every lecture. That's when I started taping lectures. And then they offered the same class online, but it was just my taped lectures. So it really wasn't that big of a thing for me. But on this, all I'm saying is go through this. There's what, 9 questions. If you think the content was consistent, put a 5 down. If you don't, put a 1 down. Same thing with my knowledge. All right, the presentation style, that's been all over the place. I've had people say, don't ever change the way you are. I've had other people say, I hate your voice, which is really something I can't really control very much. All right,
No.
if you don't think I responded to questions, put that down. If you don't think the presentations were well-versed, put that down. The same kind of thing that's in here. I know I've been told in the past, yeah, he gives us tons of URLs. Some people really like that. Other people have told me I have no time to look at all that. Well, I give you tons of URLs mainly for the people who do want to take the time to look at it. All right. As far as whether or not the course met your objectives, again, that's something only you know. All right. What parts of the course were most helpful? How could the course be improved? You've got this as a Word document, so you can come in here, you can add a second page if you want to. But what gets me is, now I'm just, the reason I'm taking a couple minutes, Angie, to explain this to you is not to waste my time or yours, but I've had this in the past where I explain, I give it out to people. They give me 1s for everything, okay? Then it comes down here and it says, the course is fantastic just the way it is, don't change anything, which says either they weren't listening to me or they can't read. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So all I'm saying is for you and for Keegan, if he watches this, just be honest, period. All right. The next thing, and again, I'm telling you this stuff because I'm trying to show you a few things as, for lack of better words, we're kind of wrapping stuff up. Hopefully now what you see on the screen is a Muroc book that says Murocs HTML and CSS3. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now that has 20 chapters in it. By no means can we go through all 20 chapters, and I'll explain why in just a second. But we do go through these chapters that are in here, here, and here. The chapters 19 and 20, when we get there, we're already at the 9-week point. So, or 8-week point, whatever, we're halfway into the semester. So we go through as much of the book as we possibly can. All right. Then, now can you see the other Muroc book up here? Murex JavaScript. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's the other book for the class. This book has got so much good information in it. See, you know, hopefully you realize this. First of all, and I'm just saying this, I'm being serious. You're very good. You're doing a great job in this class, but you're going to have a leg up over other people that start with you in fall because you've already programmed. It has really nothing to do with, oh, because you've had me for an instructor. That doesn't mean much of anything. But we're going to go over some stuff. And when we get to this point in the class, I have to assume that the majority of the people in the class don't know how to program at all. So you're going to get to go back and do some relearning. And what you hopefully will realize is, oh, wow, that's almost exactly the way we did it in C#. All right. So like I said, you know, you'll have a leg up over a lot of people who are in that class. In that class, we go through all of section 1. We go into section 2, but we don't go through all of it. There's just not enough time. And we pick and choose in section 3. What I am planning on doing in that class, literally from day one, is we're gonna download a little bit of stuff. And am I right in assuming that you've got a good browser? Do you like have Chrome on your computer?
I do. Hmm.
Okay. Then, and you might have this, you might not. You might want to go out and download. It's not Visual Studio, but it's called Visual Studio Code, CODE. It's a stripped down version of Visual Studio, but it's basically meant to there's a lot of good features and functionality in it. That's what we're going to use as our editor. So if you want to do that, you can. All right.
Okay.
I already have done lectures. I did them last year, but since we're using the same book, I've done lectures on the PowerPoint slides for both books. Those will be put out there fairly soon. All right, just so you're aware of that. And even though Keegan's not here, I just wanted to show this is the book that we're using for the class he's going to be in. All right, it's called Get Programming with Node.js. Starting June 1st, from what I understand, I'm supposed to start going back into Rankin. And when I do, Mr. Smith from St. Louis, he actually, where he lives, from what he told me, he's 20 miles from the St. Louis campus and he's 20 miles from the Wentzville campus. So he's going to drive up for probably about, you know, most of the rest of May, and we're going to try to write this class together. But this is a book I had actually found. I know nothing about it, but just again, this is more for Keegan's benefit, but because this is the book that we're going to go through. And you can see it's, the thing is, there's a lot of chapters in it, but it's not a real long book. Many of the chapters are really, really, really short in it. And we're going to end up building a project in there as a class. All right. So what I sent you, just so you're aware of this, I'm going to stop this share and start a different one. But what I sent to both of you, oh, let me grab them both here. Give me just a second. There we go. All right, so now I got to get that in the screen share. I don't know if you can see both of these on the screen or just one of them right now. These are your books. So that's all the information if you want it. All right. And for Keegan, I sent that as well. And that's all the information for him. All right. So you've got that. Like I said, you've got 3 different things that you were sent today.
Okay.
All right. Now let me do one more thing. Let's do this because again, if Keegan's not here, I wanted to go through chapter 25, but we can do that tomorrow. What I will do instead, have you had a chance yet on your machine to download MobiRise?
I have.
Okay. Have you looked at it at all?
A little bit.
Okay.
I need to go back and watch the video and
Yeah,
learn
the last videos that I sent you, the one is like 18 minutes long, but the guy basically, what he does is he comes in there and he says, hey, if you want to use this, this is what this basically affords you. In other words, this is what you can do with it, for lack of better words. All right.
Okay.
And like I said, in my opinion, for whatever that is or is not worth, he does a really good job. All right. And let's see. This, come on. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to see if I can get on here just for a second. We'll spend just a few minutes looking at this. So here it is, I think. All right. You see the thing with Keegan on there now? Keegan Young right there?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to come through here and see if I can do this. If I go to pages, I'll go to sites. If I go to sites and create new site, and I click, by default, it calls it site with today's date on it. I'm just going to call it demo. All right. And I click OK. All right. Do you see now in the bottom right corner, it says click to start?
I do.
All right. So that's what you do. This is your template, for lack of better words. You go back up to the top, and what you find when you look on top here is there are different menus. All right. If I want a white menu, I can grab that one. I'll take the dark one, but just to show you, I drag it out. Boom. I've got a menu. All right. Anything I want to change in here, I can change. What does that mean? That means that if I don't like these words, let me make it. I think I can make that. Come on. Should be able to go. There we go. If I want to change the words that are in here for Mobilize, I just double click on it. And if you wanted, that was going to be yours, boom. And hopefully what you can see, I wish that would close, but it won't, is I just put your name in there. So you can change anything in here. It is up to you when you are working on this, in that as you start putting in other things. So let's say that I come in here and now I decide that, somewhere near the top, I want to put in what's called a slider. In other words, an image slider right there. So I click over here, I drag that, boom, I've got an image slider. All right. I think by default, it's got 3 different images in it. All right. And you can come in here, and can you see up here where I've got the mouse near the upper right-hand corner where this gear
Yes,
is? If I click right there, all right, if I click right there, all I have to do is click on the image, and now I can replace it with my own image. You can grab, they have predefined images in their own online library. So let's just assume that I want to put a picture of a dog in here. All right, I can search for that, and I could grab one of these if I wanted to do that as an example. So I grab that one, I click OK, and that's it. That's literally all I had to do. So you can put in there as an example, let's say, because you've done a lot of work with C#, you could take a screenshot as an example of one of your programs or of 3 of your programs. You can do it like that. If you want a picture of you in there, you can do that. But you do have to put a picture of you on there someplace. I've had people say, I don't like my picture shown. Well, this is an electronic portfolio. And what we're finding is that people who are going to look at it want to have some kind of an idea of the person they're hopefully going to interview and then hire, what they look like. All right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
where you put the picture, how you put the picture is totally up to you. All right, so I put in this slider. Then I come in, and after that, I start looking at what I want. All right, and maybe under these articles right here, maybe I want some kind of an article, and again, I want some kind of an article about C#. Boom, I put that in. You can change the background color. You can change anything on here you want. You click on it, and then you click that gear that I showed you it's now near the bottom, but you click right there. And notice if I don't want to show the text, I just go like that and text is gone. If I don't want buttons there, boom, I just move them over and buttons are gone, etc. In fact, the buttons are now there, but if I don't want them there, now that text is gone. Now those buttons are gone. All right. And literally it's a sliding type of thing. You have your choice when you're doing this. You can either put everything on one page. And when you put it all on one page like that, it's typically referred to as a SPA, an SPA, or a single page application, which means that you can just basically, if I had a lot of more stuff that I put on here, I can just keep arrowing my way down if I want. Or I can click up here where I've got the different stuff up here for the menu options. So I could click here and I could change that. For example, I don't like services. So I just want to put home right there. Boom. And now it's home. Okay. And if I want to be able to go down later to, let's just say, article, I can do that. And now I can go down into my article section and I can click here. And when you do that, you can jump around and you can either take what you have up here and have it go to a different part of the page, or you can have it go to a different page, period. All right. So why am I telling you that? Some people like everything on one big page and they just want to be able to cycle their way down. If you want to do that, knock yourself out. That's not a problem at all. But you should come up here then and you should make links so that you're able to jump back and forth between one part of the page and another part of the page. All right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm doing a search right now. You probably can't see it, but that's okay. All right. And hit enter. Let's see. I will send you this as well. I should have done this morning. Let's see. Well, the ones I'm finding here are old, so. All right, I'm going to open up these two here. See, you're a little bit, for lack of better words, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball in that, like Keegan is going to have 2 classes worth of stuff that he can put out there. You have only 1. Not only that, the class that Keegan is putting out there, all right, the first class that he took, we did a lot of this kind of stuff, all right? So I'm just expecting that when you do this, you're going to do the best job you can. And I mean, that's what you've always done. So I have no reason to assume that that's not what, that I'm going to get anything less. But if the quality of yours, let's just say, and I'm not saying it will or will not, but let's just assume that the quality of yours is on a 1 to 10, it's a 7, and Keegan's is a 9. I'm not sitting there and grading you and him exactly the same way. And I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense or doesn't make sense.
No, it
Can you
does.
see on here right now where it says worth 200 points, etc.? Can you see all that?
Yes, I can.
All right. This is going to be wrong. I've got to change it, but I'll fix this up and I'll send it out to you. All right. So you've got your choice. Again, I'd recommend you use MobiRise. There are other software packages if you want to look them up. There's other ones, some of which we go over next semester, some of which you can kind of learn by just going online. All right. But I have no idea, what your time constraints are. So that's up to you. MobiRise is a real simple drag and drop type of thing that you can use. All right. Now, when you get to that point, I'm going to show you this more next week. All right. And I'm just going to show you, it's so unbelievably simple when you get done to sit there and publish your website to the IWT ranking. It's literally a matter of you dragging stuff over. What I'm going to ask that you do is, as you're building this, if you can, the best you can, try to put it into a folder, all the stuff you're working on that's just called portfolio. And if you don't do that, it's still okay. But what I will need a week from today when we finish up is I'll need to be able to have you give me a path to where your portfolio is, just so I can look at it and grade it. All right.
Okay.
So it says if you don't put it on iwt.rankin.edu. Now, I've had this in the past. One of my second year students last year, for whatever reason, she could not get her she could not get her project to iwt.rankin.edu. And she's like, she's emailing me, you know, and I felt real bad for her. She's like, Mr. Scott, I'm really trying, but it will not take it. She showed me the errors she was getting, and they were real weird errors. If something like that were to happen, just take all of your work that you have. It should be in a folder, zip the folder and send it to me. And I can grade it that way, and I can probably make sure I get it out onto iwt.rankin.edu for you, if that
Okay.
becomes any kind of an issue. All right. So when you create this, again, let's assume that you're going to put it on different pages. Again, you don't have to, but let's assume you will. You want a home page, and that can be anything you want. You want an About You page, same kind of thing. Some people combine the home and the About You and the resume, for example, onto one page. That's okay too. The portfolio section should have, ideally, should have links to your code. What I will show you guys next week, because it's really, really, really easy to do, is I'll show you how you can add Git. We'll grab one of your projects, any one you want, and I'll show you how to add Git. Then I will show you how to take that and put it out on GitHub. And then all you have to do, if you want to, is take a picture or a screenshot of it and then put a hyperlink in there. And I'll show you how to do all that stuff. There should also be a contact form. And I didn't show you that, but MobiRise near the bottom has got a simple contact form that you can use. So you want to put that stuff in there. All right. As it says, it'll be evaluated. First of all, do you have all these sections? If you have not yet written a resume, write one. I would definitely recommend do not repeat. Do not go and grab like a Word resume template. Don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, and the reason for that is that HR people have seen all that stuff. You know, and to a lot of people, that looks like, well, you didn't really want to take the time to create a resume, so you just plop some stuff into a template. No, I wouldn't do that. All right. So I'm going to assume, let's just say you've done this and you use MobiRise. Boom, you've already got a 90. All right. So you won't be able to do this because you don't have the HTML stuff. You won't be able to do this. So notice that's 15, 30, 45, 60. All right. So in other words, in yours, all those points will come in here. You'll probably, for you, you might want to put up to 6 different examples in there. And for each example, like I said, we'll look at taking a screenshot. We'll do this next week, maybe on Monday or something. It won't take long. In fact, maybe what I'll do on Monday is I'll just go out there and I'll just create an entire portfolio from scratch using MobiRise and just drag some stuff out there. And that way, if Keegan doesn't remember how to do it, he can watch as well. All right. But yeah, like you said, I would strongly recommend that you go back and you take a look at one of the last emails that I sent you and Keegan was, where is it? Let's see. Some of the stuff that's in here that I mentioned to you earlier is old. I will just tell you that what you're going to find is if you look at some of the stuff that's there from like 2015, there's a few things in there that have changed. All right. So you might find it harder almost to take a look at some of that stuff that's in there. All right. Let's see. Is this it? That is not it. This is it. So let me change that and show you that. This is the one. Hopefully you can see it. It's got a gentleman up here in a plaid shirt, and it's called Free Website Builder, Mobilize Review and Demo. And I will resend the link. Even if you've got it, I want to make sure you and Keegan both do. This guy is very deliberative. It's 18 minutes long, but he walks through and he says, hey, you want to do this? This is how you do it. Hey, you want to do this? This is how you do it. I've watched like the first 12 minutes out of the 18, and I just thought to myself, if I didn't know how to use this after going through his demo, I think I could sit and do it. So,
Okay, thanks.
all right. So let's see. Like I said, I'll send it to you. That is the URL right there, but I'll send it out and I'll put it in the notes for today. All right. So I did send you some stuff for today, and it was on chapter 25, which are on SDI, single document interface, and MDI, multi-document interface. So what we'll do is we will go over that tomorrow, and hopefully Keegan will be joining us then. Okay?
Okay,
All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow then. Have a good day.
thanks. You too.
Thank you.